What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Let me see. Hope everybody's doing good today. Glad to see so many people here. I'm sure you're all excited, just like I'm excited. We are finally seeing some bullish momentum. Will you check that out? A Preezy with the first. You deserve that pin. You broke the streak. Changed the game up. What's going on, man? Sadu, second today. You were close. You were close. What's going on, Alex, Rick, Skydive, Jared? Like button now. Thank you. Appreciate you cheerleading for that like button. It means a lot. Thank you. Rise and shine, little Doge. Yeah. All right. So I was so close, had to buy at $26.99. Oh man, that sucks. Well, good thing, guys, is Doge hasn't gotten too far away from us quite yet. So that's kind of been the nice thing about these last couple moves. We had a pretty clear move. If we just zoom out a bit, we had some pretty decent opportunities here. We had, you know, the 16-cent buy, which I appreciate that, Invu. Thank you. Literally just came from the barbershop. Hey, what's up, Juan? So guys, we had the 16-cent buy-in, right? That was the spot to go, basically all in. We had talked about that when that time was there. It was a very low risk play. It was basically a triple bottom. It was, you know, like a why not. After that, we got another opportunity somewhere around 18, 19. That was kind of the last, you know, don't greed, just go ahead and buy spot. And then ever since then, I mean, it did these little moves up. So for example, it went to 16 to 20, gave you another chance to dip buy. Then it went from 19 to 23. Did a nice pullback, gave you a dip buy at like 21. Then it went 21 to 28, which was the massive move. And if you missed that, you got another chance here at 23 to get back in for another move, 23 to 30. So, you know, hey, what's going on, Matt? Welcome. So the way that Doge has been playing this is it gives everybody, it's been giving us opportunities if we missed one to get in at the next. If we keep finding ourselves never buying in and never taking advantage of the moves, it's probably an us thing versus a, well, the chart's not giving me good opportunities thing, because these are just pullbacks I'm finding on a super high time frame. So a lot of this is summarized. If you were to go lower, there'd probably be even more obvious buy-in opportunities. So, and that wasn't directed to Chaz Mandu. That was just a continuation statement. That they're, thankfully, the way that Doge has been doing this is it's been giving us opportunities to get back in steep pullbacks where we can give it a try. And that's the thing about trading, guys. At some point, you do have to enter and give it a try. Don't be afraid to lose a couple bucks. That is part of the game. It is about throwing a couple darts and then keeping the darts that miss, keeping the damage low from those, and then looking for a bullseye with one of them. And that will be worth it. So anyway, right now we got a pullback here. We got one to 25. That was probably a not too bad spot once we started to confirm here. And this is actually where we were yesterday, I believe. Was this 812? Yes. So this is where we were yesterday, and you can take a clearer look at it if you go to Bitcoin's chart, because I actually had it drawn out. And so yesterday we were on stream and we ended right here on this candle, or maybe even going into the start of the next one right here. And basically what I said was, though this right here, this double top, was not necessarily a great sign, especially with the hard rejection down, we did stop at the support trend line and we did respect it and we did bounce. So I said it does look kind of weak here, but if we can get a confirmation off the support line and we start looking like we're heading up, this could go up to the line or break, but probably stalling out no higher than 50K, in my opinion. I don't think we go above 50K. There's still just a bit of uncertainty out there that could be preventing the bull run from kicking into high gear, even though it's clearly in like a lowish to medium gear right now. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We bounced off 29 and it's been nonstop all the way back up to almost 50. So if you were in Bitcoin, you would have almost doubled your money if you had bought here and you were still holding here. That's perfect world scenario. Usually, unless you're a hodler, you're not going to end up riding it all the way up. You'll have caught portions of it, maybe missed a few. It is what it is. But either way, that's where we're at. So it's clear at this point that we are in a bullish trend on Bitcoin. There is no denying it. There's no technicals that can deny that. That is just a fact. Looking from July 20th up to now, we are in a bullish run. We've broken above all the previous lows. The highs, the swing highs we were talking about here before, 42K being the price target. We broke above that long ago, and we've been ranging up, and now we're breaking out into the next segment. So we are there, guys, and we have to accept where we are, right, and play it accordingly. We know where we want to be, and we'd love to have a second chance, but you can't trade off what you'd want to happen. You got to take a look at what cards you're being dealt, and then figure out, well, how can I make money off of what's happening? Snake says, I got to stop listening to the Discord. Every time someone says it's going down, it goes up, and vice versa. There's really just no way to know. There's no way to know. Everything right now is just kind of guessing. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't even, these streams. We're taking a look at it and just trying to figure out what looks the most obvious and try and guess off of that. But at the end of the day, it is up to everyone in this stream and everyone that's trying to be an effective trader. It is up to you at the end of the day to make your own final determination based off all the info you hear. More opinions are usually better as long as the people know what they're talking about. But then you have to take that good information and say, well, how am I going to apply it to my trading? Because if you never make any buys, or if you never make your sell and take profit, you're not going to be maybe where you want to be. But we can see now we're up here at about 47.7 right here. And we're nearing some spots of resistance. Hey, thank you, Sadu. Appreciate that. We're nearing some spots of resistance here. So if we're at 47.7, and I'll just mark this because we can't see it right now, and I want to be a little zoomed in. So we're just about here. All right. Just about here. As you can see, we're nearing some resistance here. We already made a move up. We already did a bit of a pullback, and we're doing a little curl back up to see what we want to do next. And that's at a perfect spot because we have what was support. And once you break below support, it becomes the ceiling. Once you break through the floor, you're now looking up to it. It's now the ceiling. Same concept. Break below support, it becomes the resistance. And then you have to get back through the resistance and then prove it as support if you want to go back up through it. So at this time, we're now here and we've got resistance at previous support, right at this exact level where we're sitting right now, kind of deciding what's next. You can see here there was another wick right here, right at about 48 flat, and then kind of general consolidation somewhere in this general area. I'm just picking the middle of where all the trading was happening. So let's just say 50K. All right, and that's 50K is obviously also going to be a big mental level, which is why it also gets even stronger as a resistance. Because people think in increments. We've talked about this before. It could be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 cents. It could be 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, or something like that. So, and especially once you get to like a halfway point. So, 25,000, 50,000, 75,000, 100,000. Kind of those bigger numbers, they become more important and people look at them as more significant. So not only do we have a lot of consolidation going on here, right in this 50K range, but it's also 50,000. So in my opinion, right around there, and why do I keep doing that? Right around there, and maybe we do a little loop up of like, a couple $100, maybe getting near 51, but I think we probably stall out there and start heading down. That is my guess. We do need to have, we've had a really strong run here, and unless this is, which we should obviously by this point be entertaining the thought that this could potentially, because you never want to just stick to one mindset with no room to adjust your thinking. So we want to entertain the possibility that this could be the long-term run. If the market just is not reacting to some of the FUD out there and everyone's like, all right, we've had enough. We've been down here for 2 months. Because what I've been saying as well is that people are just getting impatient. They get tired of seeing, okay, a bounce, support. At some point, they're like, all right, well, this is probably the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead, buy in, and call it a day. I think we hit that point here once we saw some hope with the Amazon rumor, and that started to spark some bullish momentum. I think a lot of people just said, all right, well, I'm just going to go ahead and buy in. And we've just been seeing that continuing and getting more and more bullish pressure at each major level that we passed that made people feel more confident that this might be a continuation. You know, first at the 40,000 level, and then at the 42.5. That was a big one. And then we got the break above 45 here, and now we're seeing the break above 47. Like, more and more and more people are getting more and more bullish because this thing just keeps going and going and going, and it has not done a major pullback yet. Now, there may be one in the works, but if this is a momentum run, there may not be one in the works. So you've got to ask yourself, and you have to ask yourself, emphasis on that, what do I, being you, want to do? Do I want to just jump in and say, well, whatever happens, happens. I'll be perfectly fine with a Dogecoin 28-cent average if I'm not in yet. And, you know, once we get to 60 cents, I'll have over doubled my money and that'll be great. Or do you want to keep looking for, well, this could pull back really far, so I'm not going to be in at all? Or you could play it smarter and maybe just scale in and DCA and average down, you know, all that good stuff. But actively ask yourself that question, because if this keeps going on and on and on, and let's just say we end up at 55K in 2 weeks, you know, people trust that the Fed thing on the 23rd is going to get amended, and that they're not going to have to deal with too much FUD for too long because the mining thing will get sorted out, then, I mean, this thing could continue running up. We're just trying to take, on these streams, take all of the news and information and details we can find and figure out what that will probably mean. But at the end of the day, it is up to whatever the market ends up saying that they feel. We're just trying to guess what that is. Sometimes we'll be right and sometimes we won't. Usually we are, and sometimes we won't be. That's just the way trading goes. But yeah, now we're at 47.8. You know, 47.8 here. We had that break that we talked about in the group, where if we looked strong here and got a strong break above 47, and obviously if we tested it, that would have been greater for an entry, but this just traded like a breakout, a momentum style breakout. Usually with momentum breakouts, you don't get too much testing. You get a lot of running. Everyone, you know, they FOMO buy in, or you just have breakout traders. That's their trading style anyway. It's not necessarily FOMO, but once they see strong momentum coming up to a level and then strong momentum clearing that level, they say, all right, I'm gonna jump in because it's probably going to keep going. You just see more and more and more and more people do that. This, by the way, obviously this was probably some whales buying in at the same time, because it's an absolutely massive candle of almost, what is that, $1,000 almost. But this was 1 minute, guys. This candle right here, this is the 1 minute time frame. Absolutely massive candle. And here we are again. All right, so we can see we're doing a bit of a cup and handle right here. Big run up. Now we're, where to go? Yeah, and the cross too. That's probably what made a lot of people jump in, is they were looking for that golden cross, and that's probably happened right when we broke above 47. I actually didn't look at it. Today's been pretty hectic, but from what we talked about earlier in the group, it looked like that golden cross was going to hit somewhere like right in here, and that probably just increased momentum. Now at this point, we're getting a bit of a cup and handle. As you can see, the move up, the cup, we're now starting to pull back and retrace to wherever that handle will end up stopping. The shorter the handle, the better. You don't really want it to be a deep pullback. If it's like down to here, if it's down to under here, 47.5, that cup and handle's probably failed. The handle should not be coming all the way down here, and you know, that's not the cup and handle anymore. That's more of a double top that you just formed. But we want it to stop probably no lower than here. This would be even better, obviously. But if it could stay above like 47.6, we could see a continuation. Or you could even start looking for some entry here, but if you're trying to go long. Let's go ahead and throw the indicators up and just see what we've got going on. All right. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah. And so we can see right there, that was the golden cross right here. Right at this candle right here is about where it happened. And you can see once we had that confirmation, because you see how it happened there. First it happened and everyone's like, okay, well, is it going to keep going? And once it was clear that we were still going right on the next candle, these are 1 minute candles, by the way. Within 1 minute, that's where all the buys kicked in. So we can see, once the golden cross happened and we then also broke above 46,000 with that momentum, that's why you see what probably was double the length of the candle that it would have been. This is kind of massive but normal, and then it just continued on equally afterward from more momentum as we broke above 47. And people just like, ooh, well, where's this going to go? I'm going to jump in. And yeah, we stalled out at about 48. That's very, very high. But we are cooling off a bit. As you can see, though, these are still relatively large candles. There is still volume going on here. These are full, large candles. So the sell-off was a little weak. So you can see a whole bunch of small red candles. We got right back up there, and we still have big candles here. So there's still a lot of activity. The golden cross is typically when it kind of just depends. Basically, it's usually when a lower time frame EMA crosses above a higher time frame EMA. That can either be the 50 to the 200 EMA, or the 50 to the 100's another cross, or anything like that. And that's what we saw here. The 50 crossed over the 100 and the 200 kind of at the same time. So that was pretty crazy. And took off like a rocket. And that just kind of signals a shift in trajectory. Because when the 200 EMA is the longer term time frame, it's averaging out way more price action, and it typically moves way slower. The lower time frame ones are averaging out less information, and they typically stick closer to the price. So if your 50 EMA, for example, goes below the 200, that means you're probably in a really bearish situation. Well, then once the 50 catches back up to the 200 and crosses above it, that's usually a really bullish sign. And that's just a really basic EMA pattern that a lot of people refer to. And the reason it probably took off so hard, though, was because everybody was talking about it. And that's just the power of social media and the community and YouTube coverage on a lot of these things. Once, the golden cross in itself is obviously a good thing, but this good, that's just a lot of people being on the same page regarding what they were looking for due to people talking about it. We'll see what happens here. This could be pretty big. Yeah, you saw a double bottom. Everybody turned bearish. Right. And the thing is, if you feel like other people are more experienced than you and could be right and you could be wrong, it is definitely, and even if not, like even me, I'm not usually one to go to other people for opinions, but I do listen to what everybody else says, and I try and see it from their perspective, and then I do my own further analysis to see if that makes sense or not before I get my own opinion, whether my opinion then is wrong or right or wrong. But I do like to not just have my like Mariano thought blinders on and see what other people think, and maybe I miss something. But at the end of the day, when I buy in and when I sell is going to be based off of what conclusion I come to after that consideration. Not just because someone else thought something was going to happen, All right. Losing a little steam here. Would have liked to see a quicker pickup. Oh, I got you. Yeah. So let's see what this does here. Now, this is just one piece of information, guys. We've also got Dogecoin doing very well. It caught way up. It had multiple slingshots recently and caught up to closer to where it should be. I mean, Doge should be like coming close to 50 cents right now, but that's okay because a lot of you guys are probably still not in, unless you're Rick, you know, secretly a whale. I'm just playing. A lot of you guys are still not in, probably to where you'd like to be in. So being under 30, you still have an opportunity. Once we get above 30, you know, it's starting to get a little late. Look out for divergence, hidden or not. And once you get above 30, it starts getting, you know, you're getting back up there. We only came from like 40, 50 cents. So, you know, the longer you wait, the more unfortunate things become. But here we are at 28. Dogecoin's doing well. And then we've also got Ethereum, guys. So Ethereum's been doing really well because of the EIP update. It's gained a lot of momentum. Don't forget, Ethereum maxed out at like 4,000 something, and it's already up to 3,200. Ethereum is almost all the way back to where it came from. It just has about 1,100 bucks to go. Rick is the whale. That could be a new shirt. Well, not necessarily. We may though. I mean, we could, but off momentum, this could just be a continuation. But we can see here that 3,300 is where we are right now, and 4,300 is the all-time high of Ethereum. So Ethereum is coming back with some strength here. It would be nice to see a deep pullback so that, you know, there's another chance to enter, but we'll see. I think really the only negative news that we still have going on right now is going to be obviously the suspension from Tesla that's still looming and kind of holding everything back a bit. Obviously not as much as it was. And then the House of Representatives going over the bill on the 23rd, and then, you know, just staying tuned to see whether or not they amend it or not, or they tried to amend it, because the Senate did not. And maybe just people are not concerned about that because they assume that they will amend it and not let it pass as is. Now, in the Discord group, I believe it was Preezy shared an article that just talked about how some of the members of the House were very close to, Nancy Pelosi, and that, you know, there were a couple House members that were in favor of getting this thing amended. So, though it is risky because you don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks, until then, there could, like I said yesterday, there could still be a lot of activity. And then maybe, like I said yesterday, coming into Thursday, Friday of next week and heading towards Monday, if anything, that's when I would expect to see the majority of correction happening. But until then, if people are not freaking out at this moment, Bitcoin's kind of free to do what it wants. Because people might just be trying to get the most out of it. So, and here we are. Now, so that's Ethereum looking great. Not too much room left before it gets back to its all-time highs, but with EIP 1559 leading into ETH2 hopefully next year, Ethereum's still got room to 4x as long as that update comes soon. So plenty of room. The big news though is Cardano. And I went ahead and shifted some of my capital into Cardano just shortly before the stream started. That's because Cardano got some very good news today. So it got an official release date. And if I remember correctly, that was September the 12th. It's been announced that Cardano will then get then an update called Alonzo Purple, which basically the main thing about that update is it includes support for smart contracts, which is what Cardano has been missing. Now, Cardano is supposed to be Ethereum's competitor. That's the whole thing of Cardano. It's supposed to be Ethereum's competitor. It was created by one of the co-founders of Ethereum. And usually what ends up happening, you've got a group of really, really smart guys or girls that create a cryptocurrency together. And then as time goes on and decisions need to be made about, well, do we do this or do we do that? There can be some really strong disagreements. And there's various things that you can end up seeing. You can either see like a hard fork, like split be created. So now, for example, we have Ethereum and we have Ethereum Classic. That was for that same reason. There were some people that were Ethereum devs or in the Ethereum community that believed that Ethereum should be going in a certain direction. And then there were some people that believed Ethereum should be going in the other direction. And so what do you have? A point where they split up. And you've got Bitcoin SV, you've got Bitcoin Cash, you've got Bitcoin. It happens often. But if that didn't happen, what you also get is some of the devs just leaving the project and starting their own. And that's what we have here on Cardano. And they got that update, that information at least, that September 12th is going to be the release date for the update that will allow smart contracts. So that's actually huge. For me personally, it was more of a personal investment for me. I didn't even need to do too much more research on what exactly is Cardano compared to ETH2 and what ETH2 is going to provide, and looking at all the technicals. From a tech geek and crypto, whatever you want to call me, at this point in time in my life, yes, I could have looked into those things and figured out some great reason to invest in Cardano. From a day-to-day user standpoint, the reason why I wanted to get in Cardano is because so far my very, very bad experience with Ethereum, that makes me just want to not use it. Now, Ethereum is obviously the market leader. It doesn't have much competition right now. It's really in a league of its own. And usually, guys, when there's not enough competition in any space, that is a very bad thing. Competition it doesn't matter what industry that is really good for the consumer. And when a company has like a monopoly or whatever, and they don't have competition, that's usually going to be bad for you and I, because we end up paying for that. There's no competition to compete for better rates with them, so they can charge whatever they want because you can't get it anywhere else. And there's also sometimes no competition to force them to be better within a reasonable amount of time. So sometimes you get lackluster product over time, because there's just, why move much faster if you can milk what you've got going on here? And I just feel like Ethereum has kind of gotten to that point, in my opinion. But in the way that really bothers me the most is just the day-to-day interaction with Ethereum. The mining fees right now are just absurdly high. I was considering buying a long-term put about 30 minutes ago, and so I tried to buy a long-term put, just thinking, maybe over these next 3 weeks, Bitcoin or something will drop and I can make a couple $100 or something small. And I went to place that transaction, and the mining fees again were like $140 to authorize the transaction for me to buy the put on some DeFi app. It just doesn't make sense. And unless you execute your orders basically at like midnight or something, when hopefully most people are asleep, due to average network traffic, the fees are just absurd to do some things, and that's not okay. You should not have to pay over $100 to send a transaction. It doesn't make any sense. Imagine going to the dollar store and having to pay $100 to fulfill your order, to swipe your card or whatever. Doesn't make sense. And so I'm just hoping with Cardano now getting smart contracts, we'll have developers over there now looking to get an early start. We'll see some DeFi apps built on the Cardano network that can rival the Ethereum DeFi apps. We'll maybe see an options trading platform. We'll see decentralized exchange. We'll see staking solutions and all this stuff, but built for Cardano instead of Ethereum. And then if that's way, way, way cheaper to use, like a couple cents versus $100, the obvious answer is going to be Cardano. And so I just see Cardano just for that reason alone, just because it's getting smart contracts pretty clearly before Ethereum's getting ETH2, which would have solved part of the current problem. It's going to give Cardano a huge, huge leg up over Ethereum until ETH2, as long as they can get devs moving quick enough before ETH2. So just from that reason alone, I went ahead and just put some money in on Cardano, and I did not care what price it was. All right, keep that in mind too. I did save a portion. Yes, this would be a great time to get in on DeFi apps that run on Cardano. Exactly, Angel. because with Cardano's increased popularity, those DeFi apps are going to increase in popularity. So now it's time to start looking at like layer 2 solutions and all that good stuff for Cardano, in my opinion, versus Ethereum. That would probably be a smart play if I were to give a recommendation. $5, I'd say 4 is pretty reasonable. I mean, we're already at 2, and I could, easily see it doubling. Obviously, if Cardano keeps it up, it has way more potential than that. I believe we did some quick math and saw, according to crypto.com, Cardano's like it's got like maybe not 10x potential, because that would already put it past ETH, but it could 5x, and it would be pretty close. It would put it at 300 billion, basically, almost, or a little bit more. And so that would be Cardano to about $9-10 a little longer term, maybe over the next year if it gets on par. And I think that's pretty doable. So I just went ahead, shifted a lot of capital into Cardano. I don't really care if it goes down. And that's another thing, guys. Whenever you're investing after a lot of the rally happens, you have to make a mental decision, knowing that there's a high chance there could be a reversal. Do you just want to go ahead and get in now and just whatever happens and make it a longer term hold? Because if you believe in it, even if it pulls back, you believe it'll bounce back up, so you're not too concerned. But you just kind of want to be in and make sure that you're in. Or do you want to do it more trader style and wait for a potential better opportunity, but also potential to miss out if it keeps going, and do a riskier strategy like that? In my opinion, I think Cardano will succeed due to the timing, because it was really a foot race, and Ethereum, in my opinion, is losing at this point. So I went ahead and put a good amount in Cardano today. Massive news. Don't forget, if you don't know what smart contracts are, it's basically the functionality, the ability to create any kind of smart anything that runs on the network. So a lot of what you think are cryptocurrencies that are actually decentralized finance apps that run on top of the Ethereum network, Chainlink, for example, and a lot of these other ones, Uniswap, this exchange, USDC coin, which is a stable coin, so on and so forth. As you go down this list, these are DeFi apps that run on Ethereum's network. Basically, they're just apps. Cryptocurrency, blockchain-powered apps. And Cardano just got support for those. So now we can see what Cardano Network's all about. And I would love to find out, because I'm tired of paying gas fees. But that is where we are, guys. Let's see. Any questions? Any comments? What's my average on ADA? I literally bought in like an hour ago, so it's probably like $2 flat. I didn't have any position before that. So I'm basically just in. What's next? Dogecoin resistance? 30 cents flat should be the next strong resistance. Mostly a mental level. But let's take a look. Yeah, I agree, Angel. They were really, really careful about it. Look at Dogecoin, strong rejection wick there. Looks like it wants to do a little thing here. Looks like we've got, yeah. So there was strong resistance here at 28. We've already broken above that. Next very obvious level is going to be 30 cents. For sure, 30 cents. Absolutely 30 cents. Bitcoin next resistance is 50K. So I'm going to guess that those two hit, around the same time. Bitcoin 50, Dogecoin somewhere around 30, maybe 30 and a half, stalling out like right here. If you guys can see, there's some right above the 30 cent level. There's a little like inner level. You see these wicks here, here. You've got some trading here, 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 like 31-ish. Maybe Dogecoin stalls out at 31 with Bitcoin at 50. XRPTA. XRP is going to be the same, but I'll pull it up. Yeah, XRP is doing the same thing. If you look at levels, probably going to assume it would be about 120. But the same idea. All right, let's see what's going on Bitcoin here. We're still in the pullback stage here. I would like to see what these next candles do. So what's the next move for Dogecoin? So Dogecoin right now is very happy. It's following Bitcoin on the way up, and so that's good. It did slow down a little bit, but we know that Dogecoin, you know, the thing is, a lot of the Dogecoin community, the ones that actually buy Dogecoin and support the price, are not very good traders. All right, guys, let's be honest. And that could be even some of you. All right, it's important to be real. It could be you might feel that way about yourself, or maybe it's me, you know, but a lot of people that trade Dogecoin, they're just getting into trading. And if they're brand new, they're not good. There's no other way around it. You don't just get into trading and be a trading genius all of a sudden. It's impossible. There's too much manipulation and weird things going on that you just automatically have it figured out. So because of that, the market with Dogecoin moves in really weird ways. You know, when there's obvious confirmation and things look like they're taking off, usually you see the Dogecoin buyers, they lag behind, but then they all kind of come in at once they visually see like clear confirmation that we are schmoving, you know. When Bitcoin's taken off and has been taken off, then you see usually Dogecoin move, or vice versa. You know, sometimes you've just got the hodlers that also are just holding for fun, and then they see Bitcoin come down to a certain price, or they see Dogecoin losing a certain amount of steam, and then they start to panic sell, and then they all dump at the same time. It's way just more volatile. Usually the people in trading the meme coins are typically more meme investors, not serious. Yeah, for the memes, exactly. September 12th, Invu. That is the date. It's the official release date, September 12th. And so you see way more stable, except for when whales do their thing, ups and downs on Bitcoin, and then you see weirder following of that price action in Doge. But that being said, the next move for Dogecoin, so really what Dogecoin's waiting on is either a really major catalyst, adoption, acceptance, like native acceptance, no weird workarounds like BitPay and whatnot, but real acceptance and being taken seriously at major retailers. Also, Bitcoin getting back up and confirming the continuation of a bull run, you know, getting back to like higher 50s into 60,000 and still looking bullish. That'll be very good for Dogecoin. And then also the Dogecoin update will be very big for Dogecoin, because it kind of implies a lot. It means that we're probably way closer to a Dogecoin for Tesla announcement, being that Elon Musk already said that update was key. That gives a little hint at what he thinks about it. And then we've also, you know, beyond the Dogecoin update that should be coming within 2 weeks here, if we're just guessing based off following what the devs are saying, that will reduce transaction fees. That we also then have later down the line a potential Doge to Ethereum bridge. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a Doge to Cardano bridge at this point, seeing mining fees, but if we're getting bridged with ETH2, maybe those fees will be reasonable again. So we've got a lot of catalysts here. Any news on Doge update? No, not quite yet. He did say probably over maybe this weekend we'll have some more info. All right, looking at the pullback here, we're testing that first level we drew out, though it didn't mean much. I was just putting it at the bottom of the wicks here. If we go back to the 1 minute, you can see just this general area. And maybe even if we just look at the 50 EMA, that'll just be a better target. So right about there, around 47.6. I don't really want to see it go any lower than that. Hey, what's going on, Michael? In the top 25, which ones are the ones to watch? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. I would say XRP, because XRP is a retail focused coin, and though it's kind of getting slept on right now, it is going to be kind of, it's Dogecoin's most direct competition, but no one cares. If people decide to care one day, that could be a problem. So XRP, Dogecoin, I mean, most of the top 25 is important, to be honest. I don't know a lot about these. I guess Filecoin, because it's kind of the leading one in what it does. It's a, I think it's a file stored, like a decentralized Dropbox, if I remember correctly. So Filecoin could be something. People are going to get turned off by the price per coin, though, so that one might not get too much further up the list. People like cheap stuff that they can buy a lot of. It's just a mental thing. Makes you feel better. I've been hearing a lot about VeChain, so maybe VeChain. I've been hearing a lot about XLM as well. Maybe XLM, because that's getting into the retail focus space. So we'll keep an eye on Stellar. Internet Computer has been having really strong gains, but yeah, the lawsuit on XRP has made a lot of people not want to touch it. So almost, honestly, pretty much all, I would just say all of the top 25. If I were you, I would be doing research on all of the top 25 and being familiar with what they are, if you're looking for something new to invest in. Obviously, I still need to do some more research myself on some of these in the top 25, but I know I've made my decision of what I want to kind of stay focused on. But if I'm looking for a new project, all of these in the top 25 are names that are being talked about, except for Filecoin and Terra. I don't hear anybody talking about those, or Tron. No one's talked about Tron recently. Hey, what's going on, Damo? That's very true, Brian. Very, very true. But yeah, VeChain, Theta, Filecoin, Cardano, XRP, Doge, ETH2, and, you know, all of these, except for like Litecoin and whatnot. Everybody, those are established already. But Solana, Polkadot, Polygon, Chainlink, if you don't know what that is, you should look it up and look at competition for Chainlink. And yeah, then basically these. Internet Computer, like I said, been having massive gains, but I'm just not a fan. I'm not, because I don't like what I've heard about it. It doesn't make sense. So I think this will hit a high and then end up selling off as people say, oh, never mind, in unison. Honestly, Hedgic is something I'm kind of interested in. This options trading platform is just really good. I think this has a lot of potential to keep growing, even though it's already moving. Is it even, it's not on the top of the list here, but let's just see, where's Hedgic? Dum, 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 dum. 17 cents. It got an update like 2 days ago that really changed things up a bit. All right, just doesn't want to load. Okay. Yeah, so you can see it was at like 10 cents not long ago, and then it went all the way up to like 25. So this thing doubled in price over the last couple days, but it's still strong. And honestly, I would still get in Hedgic, just because I've quickly messed with some of the others, and they are just not as easy to use. All you do, connect your wallet, pick, do you want to do a ETH or Bitcoin call or put? Select call or put. How many do you want? It'll then tell you the cost in USD coin, and it tells you like, and then you can pick, well, how long do you want to hold that option contract for? So let's just say I want to do a Bitcoin put, right, for 2 weeks. So let's do 14 days. All right, and I want to leverage one whole Bitcoin. So it's going to cost me $2,000, but I'm holding one Bitcoin. I'm short one full Bitcoin. That's what the option allows me to do. It's going to cost me the equivalent to paying $7 an hour, which, you know, whatever. But you can see here, this is the strike price, the current price of Bitcoin, and this is the price I'd need to hit. If you mind, you know, strike minus total cost that I'm paying, if I need it to go down to 45,000 to break even, and then anything under that is just going to be profit I can pocket if I exercise that option, close it out, sell it, whatever. And you can use this little profit calculator, really simple, just drag it. If the price goes here, what do I end up with? So if I were to buy this option right now, and within 2 weeks, Bitcoin goes back down to $33,000, I've paid $2,000 to hold a Bitcoin, and then I'd get all of that back plus 12 grand. So yeah, obviously perfect world that would happen, but probably not. But you see the idea. You get to leverage one Bitcoin, or if you have more money than that, you could do 10 contracts for 20 grand. But there's a lot of money there. But what I've just usually been doing, because it's cheaper, is Ethereum contracts. So just leveraging like 3 ETH only costs like $190. If I think it's going to go up or down pretty hard in a day, I can leverage 3 Ethereum. So that's about 10 grand worth of ETH for $190 and just hope I'm right, or at least can break even. And the further down it goes, the more money I can potentially make. Options, though, are risky if you don't know what you're doing. If you're not profitable, not trading options, don't touch this site. But I'm just saying, this makes it easy to do options in crypto in a decentralized manner. And that's like the whole interface. Very simple. I think this thing's going to continue to take off. So would I recommend option trading for a new BB? Absolutely not. No. And I will make sure I say that very clearly. No. If you do not even consider yourself intermediate, honestly advanced, I would not touch options. The only time, even me, I don't like trading options. They are very risky. Though you limit your risk exposure, unless you're trading with a whole lot of money, that doesn't necessarily matter. You're better off just buying the actual asset at a decent spot. The only time I really like doing options is when I'm extremely confident that the price is going to go up substantially or down substantially. And then I just use options as a form of leverage. But the thing is, if you're wrong, you lose all of your investment if you can't get to the break-even price. So it's a very bad way. It's a very easy way to go bankrupt instantly. What are my thoughts on TRX? Is that Tron? I got a bad taste in my mouth because of Tron. Not because there was anything wrong with it, but because of the fact that it was being like pushed to social, like TikTokers and social media influencers to promote it. I really just don't like that kind of stuff. I like things that get organically spread and known. When people start trying to pay influencers to start talking about like, oh, I invested in Tron, this is the best crypto ever. It's like, why do you guys have to talk about it? Like, if it's the best thing ever, do you really have to pay for marketing? So that I just didn't like the way it started off. It could be fine. I just don't know. I don't like it. But I mean, it's a decentralized platform focused on content sharing and entertainment. So, I mean, this could be something that continues to take off. At this moment in time, though, it's not on my radar, though it could be. I'm not going to write it off just right now. It's definitely not something that really gets me going. Looks like Bitcoin's holding pretty nice here. Options are fun to learn, except you'll lose a lot of money at first since they're tricky. Yes, exactly. So if you don't feel like you have trading nailed down, definitely don't mess with options. Because options are like step 2 or 3. It's like once you can trade successfully and you're usually right, and you can be right most of the time, then you can leverage that even further, take a little more risk. But even then, it's only worth it if you have a whole lot of money to trade with and you want to like leverage your capital wisely. Other than that, options are just kind of a bait. And I haven't, by the way, I've been looking at the charts every day looking for like an option buy-in, and I have not seen one yet. I did see one yesterday that I almost did, but I just wasn't feeling confident about it, so I just did no trade at all. So, I mean, for the last week, almost, I've been just kind of sitting on my hands waiting for the right moment. But it'll pay off. Other than that, though, so someone asked me about ACH. How's Alchemy? Alchemy's doing fine. It stalled out at around like, it did a couple bounces off the momentum. Bounced up to like 15, then it bounced up to 12 a couple times, then to 11, to 10, to 9. I'm seeing a floor. There's support right at around 7-8 cents, clearly. But the highs are getting lower, so it's kind of doing a descending triangle. you know, the concept where the support's the same, but the highs are coming down. So it's doing like a descending triangle pattern. And I did go ahead and just sell just because I want to wait and see. Not only were there other things happening, like Cardano, for example, and I also wanted to trade options with that capital. But, right. Unless you're great at trading, probably try not to do options. But yeah, it just it's stalled out right now. I want to see some kind of movement again. So, is Alchemy Pay something still to consider? Yeah, I would think so. The only tricky part is, you know, which direction is it going to go to next, because it just came off that hype run up. So it got the Coinbase announcement and everything. Everybody got all their excitement out. They bought it up to like 24 cents, and now it's done the massive pullback down to like 7, 8. I think if you're going to enter though, like right now, 8 or 9 cents is probably a good time to start getting in. And then just kind of see what happens next. I probably wouldn't all in yet, because there is still another potential like move to dip down. If it does fail this support, it can go down to like 6. So I'd want more money to average down there if I were to be going into AMP. But I think it's pretty low risk at this point. Yeah, I would probably give it a try, because ACH and AMP, Alchemy Pay and AMP, are like the two decentralized crypto retail solutions that are seeming to take over. So I see potential there. AMP has been pretty stable. Yeah, it's still at about 6 cents. AMP will go up in price pretty substantially once more adoption kicks in, but it is in 50th place, only $2 billion market cap. Plenty of room to go. There's just so many things to invest in. I keep bouncing around, and it's hard to time which one's the right one, right? But yeah, in my opinion, ACH, AMP, Cardano, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, XRP, maybe a competitor to Chainlink. In my opinion, Chainlink's already near maxed out. It's already in top 13 market cap. And obviously Ethereum longer term, but as of right now with the Cardano update, I feel like that could steal some Ethereum thunder. So I'd be more inclined to look at this one. And that, I forgot, Preezy said that he bought in at like 117. That's awesome. He's like doubled his investment. That's great. Can I do some analysis about CTSI? Accidentally called in. What is that exactly? Cartesi? It is. Okay. I looked this up before. Yeah. What blockchain is this running off of? Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon. Huh. Yeah, I looked into Cartesi before. It looks pretty solid. As far as technicals go, it looks pretty bought up here. I mean, if you just look at all time, in January it was down here. Obviously, before a lot of the crypto run, had a peak of $1.72. Wow. A pullback to 30 cents, and now it's sitting at about 70. I mean, as long as nothing goes wrong for Cartesi, I think it has a lot of room still up. I'd probably be more bullish than anything. The deepest pullback is probably just going to be to this area. You can see the general support line, like here, here, here. It's right around low 30s. So, I mean, you could potentially lose half your investment, or if things go well, you could potentially double it, triple it. Have I noticed no SHIB guys around anymore? Finally, I'm seeing a lot less of them, and it is great. That was probably one of the most annoying. Look at it, 40th place, losing more and more steam by the day. I don't know. That community is just toxic. I have nothing against SHIB coin anymore now that there's an ecosystem and a purpose for it. But it seems like as soon as it got its catalyst and its purpose, all the meme buyers are like, ooh, actual usefulness? That doesn't sound like something we're into. And then the price just never moved again. It's now at 8,000 Satoshi, which is cool. But keep in mind that's after its massive catalyst it got with Shiba Swap, which didn't move the price. It has a high of like 10,000. Now it's at 8,000. But yeah. All right. Mariano, #1 hater of Shiba. I just I despise knockoff things. I really do. And SHIB, they just branded it as a Dogecoin knockoff and then started to attack the Dogecoin and the Dogecoin community, and that just didn't sit well with me. So yeah, I probably forever hate it deep down, but I mean, I traded SHIB. You guys know I said I made a video recommending to buy it at one point to ride the 30% move up, and then I even staked in Shiba Swap. I had Bone, I had Leash. You know, I interact with it, but a lot of, when it comes to coins like that, the community is important. And just the community over there is just not too great. Lori says, going to happy hour. Thanks, Mariano. Have a great weekend, everyone. Absolutely. Have a good time. Sounds like fun. All right, guys. Well, I think, you know, Bitcoin's really stalling this out here, of course, like it does every time. And as soon as we end stream, it'll probably take off like a rocket. Have one for me. I feel like I'm going to head out. Maybe skydive is 2 if I'm saying that, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just early today. Who knows? But basically what we're seeing here, still bullish signs from Bitcoin. Cannot be ignored. Massive move up. Relatively shallow pullback here on the cup and handle that's formed. And now we're still holding above this level here where we drew the line for the handle portion. And it looks like it does want to consider a continuation up. Yeah, she's heading out. All right. How'd I know? So I think this has more room to go. As long as it can break above 48 here, it could still head up to 50. We could see Dogecoin at 30 cents. We could see Dogecoin maybe near 31. I would guess that's about here. 30 to 31, maybe more. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't think so. And then after that is, well, what happens at 50? And that's where you have to wait and see. See what the momentum's looking like, see what the candles are looking like. I don't really think it goes above 50. That's what I've been saying, but we'll see. But I think still we have, like, it makes too much sense to respect what's going to happen on August 23rd and consider that there could be a bit of a pullback if things aren't looking too good when the bill goes to the House and they don't really consider amending it, if that's what happens. And that if you were buying it up at 50,000, instead of taking profit, just holding and not cutting, or buying it more, that you could get burnt. So if I'm thinking like a whale, I would probably take profit at 50. My opinion. And you're not leaving much on the table at that point, because after 50, I mean, we're getting back to where we came from, because we came from 59, guys. That's pretty close. See, 59 was where we were before the Elon Musk announcement that crashed the market, and we are heading towards 50. It's only 9 grand away. So if I'm bigger money and I'm skeptical, I'm probably just going to lock in profits here and wait it out and then get back in later. But we'll see. It'll be very interesting to see. Obviously, in the Discord group, we will be keeping an eye on it. If you want to be a part of it and be a part of those conversations that we have after stream and before stream all day, and, you know, amongst everybody, you can, of course, join that. You would have to subscribe to the channel first if you haven't, but then click the join button and become a super member, and that's how you get the invite. It is private. But that's about it. Keep an eye on that. Obviously, if you believe this cup and handle is going to hold and you want a part of the Dogecoin move up on one of these pullbacks to test support, is when you'd want to enter, and then just give yourself a plan. I would say I want to give it a try here. We're at the support line. It looks like we're holding, and I think we're going to move up to Bitcoin 50 or whatever. Dogecoin's at 28.5 right now, at support as well. I'm going to buy it there. If it goes up, I'm going to sell it at, what, 30.5, 31, whatever you decide. But if it goes down, I'm just going to cut loss at whatever number that is, and then wait to see if either the second set of option 1 or 2 happens. Does it go down further? Does it go back up? And I need to, it faked me out, whatever. Like, that's the way we've always talked about on this channel. Trading out your plan and executing your trade, but don't just plan out a simple, I'm going to buy here and then sell here. You have to plan out, I'm going to buy here, plan to sell here if it goes up, but then also plan to sell here if it goes down. And if I sell if it goes down, then I'm going to look for this opportunity for a rebuy in. Or if it goes up and I sell, I'm going to look for this opportunity for a rebuy in. You have to think it a couple steps ahead and play it more like chess. And then you'll be set. All right. But hopefully I answered everybody's questions. Looks like I did by the slowdown of the chat. So awesome. And just keep an eye on your charts. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. Keep your eye on Dogecoin. And we'll see what happens. I'm holding an ADA. 10 mil SHIB just to have it. Nice. Yeah, I had like 8 mil. I only sold it because I wanted to get involved in other things. But, SHIB coin is not bad in itself. Obviously, it's an ERC20 token and it's fine. It just is what it is. Alrighty, guys. Well, that is it. I've got some more actual work to do at my 9 to 5 job. Of course, even though it's 6 p.m. my time, so that's fun. But I'll wrap it up here. If anything crazy happens, I'll be back live. But if not, of course, I'll catch you guys one of these days over the weekend. And I look forward to talking to y'all then. Have a great day, guys, and see y'all later.